Hello, Fabulous Leo. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of March 2017, looking at life and love. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for staying with me. I am very excited to be back on YouTube with the monthly horoscopes. And what a great month to be back with Venus retrograde season starting very early in the month. So as we start this month, Venus is going to slow down, stand still in the sky, and then go retro. And this is going to be happening in a part of the sky for you that has to do with things like long distance travel, immigration, citizenship. It has to do with higher education, and it also speaks to legal matters as well. Now, not only is Venus going to go retro in this part of the sky, but as we get to the end of the month, we're going to have a new moon with Venus, hand in hand with Venus in this very same part of the sky as well. And this is really going to be a major moment in this Venus retrograde season. So whenever Venus retros, all of us in at least one area of life are asking ourselves, do I love it? Do I love him? Do I love her? Do I like this endeavor? Do I like this space? Do I like this activity? For you, it has to do with, do I love where I am? And particularly if you are somebody who is interested in living abroad or traveling abroad, or if you are somebody who actually is currently in a different country than the one in which you were born, or the one in which you sort of consider like your nationality, your homeland. Do you love where you are? And do you want to be somewhere else or not? These are going to be part of the considerations that arise for some of you out there. And it really is going to be, and the emphasis really is on the word love. This is goddess of love after all. And so it really has to do with, is your heart in it or not? And where is it that you need to awaken to all the things that there are to love right where you are right now? Now, for some of you, there is going to be a sense of wanting to be somewhere else and willing to do what you have to do. And so that means for some of you out there, there might be a little bit of talking to people, might be a little bit of hustling, might be a little bit of making sure you have the right documents. That's one way that you may choose to use this energy. Now, for others of you out there, it's going to be connected to higher education. Do you love what you have learned? Do you want to learn more? Do you feel like you need to change what you are learning? Is your heart in it or not? Ultimately, higher education is about preparing you to then go out into the world and manifest bigger and better things. So are you learning something that you believe is going to help you to manifest what it is that you truly desire, that you can ultimately manifest something that you can bring your heart to or not? This is going to be your chance to get honest with yourself, to go along in a process. Now, just keep in mind, it's a process, okay? And for some of you out there, it really is going to be realizing that you love something totally different and you want to be studying something totally different, maybe even chasing some kind of a pipe dream, which is okay. Lots of people make pipe dreams into reality. And for others of you out there, it's going to be a little bit more oriented towards actually going to school, actually wanting to study something, to learn more so that ultimately you can be more as well. Now, as I look at the sky, I also think about legal matters as well. Again, Venus retro in this part of the sky, and especially if it's legal matters related to love, that's where just know that it's going to be a little bit of a process, okay? Things may not be necessarily as they seem on the surface. I'll talk more about that when I talk about relationships in just a moment. But just know, if you're bringing love into legal matters, that's where things could get a little bit not necessarily as direct as they might otherwise be. But this can also be the chance to really consider your options. If you are hoping for some kind of settlement, for some kind of payout, this is going to be the chance to consider just where it is you could go and how it is you could make that happen. It's a time of experimentation and consideration. Also this month, in the middle of the month, we are going to have a full moon take place. Now this full moon is happening across the sky from Mercury. It is happening speaking with Saturn, speaking in harmony with Pluto. So As I look at this happening in a financial part of your sky, this has to do with money that you earn. This has to do with income, but it also has to do with spending as well. So it looks like there is some need right about now for you to make a choice, whether you want to call it a smart choice, whether you want to call it a, sort of weighing matters from heart or mind. What's the best way forward? What is it that you have to do right now to make money? That is some ways that this energy can manifest. Now, normally when you have a full moon in this part of the sky, it does mean that the money you need is there. It does mean that there's a desire to earn more money. And for some of you, a financial opportunity, a chance to make more money may show up. But just keep in mind, it could be good for the big picture, but it looks like there's some sacrifice involved. That's Saturn suggesting this. It looks like it's going to ask for more responsibility. The pay may be less than ideal in comparison to the energy that you are going to have to bring and put forward as a result. Now, also with this, it could be possible that an expense shows up. I don't think this is going to be a big surprise expense, okay? I don't think this is coming out of nowhere. Normally with Saturn, you know which way the wind is blowing. Like it sort of makes sense that this would be some large payment that shows up now, or at least a payment that may feel a little considerable to you. And like I said, it's showing up, might feel a little bit like a sacrifice, but ultimately, it's something that is for your good, for your greater prosperity, maybe prosperity in other areas of life, could be related to earning more money as well. I would just be a little bit cautious because Mercury is standing across the sky from this. So just consider if this is something you actually need or you're being told you need. Ultimately, what I really like to say is that when the universe has you paying so much attention to money, it means the money you need is there. So whether it is the chance to earn more money, or whether it is the chance for you to experience a sense of actually putting energy forward, putting money forward towards something that you hope will help you in the bigger picture, will help you to earn more. That is part of how this energy can manifest. But it also could just be, this is an expense. You've known it's coming. It's time to pay it. And ultimately, that this is something that's going to be good for you. There may be a little bit of a need to balance things and to consider your options and to, figure your way out forward. But absolutely you will. Remember, we have Pluto in a supreme connection, a supremely harmonious connection with this particular full moon. And so it looks like you definitely end up on top, even if there is a little bit of stress and a little bit of creativity that ultimately is going to get you to that ultimate aim and that ultimate goal. Now let's talk about love, because of course, when Venus retro happens, it is a big love season for just about everybody out there. Love is very much a topic on people's minds. When we have Venus retro, a couple of things here. One thing I would say is, for a lot of the signs out there, and this may be something that you actually remember because the last Venus retro season a couple years back was in your sign or involved your sign. The main thing here to remember is beware of any kind of legal agreements that involve love. Now, I touched on this a little bit already. Be mindful of mixing law and love. So legal agreements, prenups, marriage contracts. If you are considering ending a relationship and having some sort of agreement or contract around that, Venus retro is notorious for giving it another chance, for giving it another try, or at least figuring out the best way forward. And sometimes it's a whole lot more simple than you would realize. For some of you out there, it may be like you're already in the relationship, but now you want like a post-nup agreement. Again, be mindful. Things can change once that Venus goes direct. Venus retro season will officially be over as we get to late May. So I would advise, if you can help it, maybe hold back on any kind of contracts and things like that where it comes to matters of heart, matters of love, or with someone you love. I would hold back a little bit, at least until we get there. It'll come really, really quickly. For those of you open to meeting someone new, it could very well be the far away love that has your attention. Again, I would say try not to bring in any kind of like legal, maybe don't date the lawyer, maybe don't date somebody who works in a courthouse. These are the types of spaces. Don't date anyone who works in politics. I don't normally just lay it out like that, but these are the kind of people who are most likely to be really different once that Venus goes direct. I have seen people get together with others, start dating people with the Venus retro season, but then it actually ends up being better in the fullness of time. Just give yourself some space and give yourself some time, and just know that it's going to end up being something else than you think it is. So if you meet somebody who lives far away, who lives in another country or is from another country, that may be especially alluring right now. That may definitely be where you feel like your passion lies, and yet you might want to pace yourself a little bit if you can. Do what it is that's right for you, and especially, regardless of when, but especially when Venus is retro, I really like to say that if you do what it is you really want to do, you can't make a wrong choice. At least you'll be at peace with the choices you make. If whatever happens, happens, right? And with Venus retro, it really can go in different directions once that Venus goes direct. But I do really like the fact that Venus is so close to the earth and in a super passionate sign right now. When she's close to the earth, passion is jacked up that much more. The Leos out there will definitely be feeling the desire to love and to be loved, and their most passionate selves will be coming forward that much more. If you are in an established bond, I would also say it is a good time to make bigger plans. It is a good time to consider an adventure. Give yourself lots of time to leave room for, some improv, right? Plan a trip together. Do something ultimately that's going to allow you to bring forward the best of the Venus retro season. When you are traveling, it's very easy to spend a lot of money. Be careful, your style is going to change. I had this experience when I was in Thailand. I found this, this table that had all this jewelry on it, and I started picking up all this jewelry, and I had this basket there, and I realized, oh my God, like this jewelry is totally not my style. I am never going to wear this in my real life. So then I ended up getting it because I wanted to give other people gifts, so it worked out well. But you could end up having that kind of experience when you're traveling, and especially if you're traveling either for love or with that person that you love, that tendency will be that much stronger. So I hope that one of you ends up reminding each other of this. Be mindful of lots of jewelry, lots of clothing in a very different style that ultimately is not going to work once Venus goes direct. What I love about this energy for you and what I love about this month for you is that connection to the things that you are most passionate about, and is that connection to some lofty ideal, some understanding that there is a vision that you have and that you can believe in that will lead you somewhere good, that will lead you ultimately to put into place and achieve things even bigger than you have before. Yes, that's true. There is that vision, but just know that vision is also a work in progress, as is just about everything as part of the human experience. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful for it. If you would like a video just like this every single week, log on to astrofabulous.com and become one of my superstars. Join the community and get instant access to expanded video scopes every single week for each sign. So you can log on to astrofabulous.com or go to my website, nadiyashah.com. It'll be a lot of fun. It's great interacting with the superstars on there. Become one of my superstars. I would absolutely love it. But of course, you being here is everything, and I thank you so much. It's really good to be back. Really grateful for it. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.